Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash entitled people. In today's episode, do you know who my husband is? Crazy lady doesn't know what makes a veteran. Karen demands a tattoo. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Do you know who my husband is? This is actually something that happened to me over 20 years ago, but for some reason it just popped into my head, and since it fits here, well, here we are. When my now ex-husband was stationed at an Air Force base along the Gulf Coast, I worked in the layaway/customer service/catalog order/gift wrapping department at the back of the base exchange, BX. There, and had already been there for over a year. I was very well liked by both my coworkers and supervisors. Usually, at this department, it's just kind of walk in and get what you need, as it's usually not a super busy department. However, beginning not long after Halloween and on into the new year, it get horribly busy, and at that point it was required everyone pull a number from the ticket dispenser at the entryway to the department. Once the holiday season began, this was absolutely a hard, fast rule, no matter what. One weekend day, we were wall-to-wall people, and from the moment we opened the registers we were busy. It got so bad we had to call a couple people over from other departments for the sole purpose of ringing through layaways, so a couple people in our department could do nothing but gift wrap and grab layaways from the back that were being paid in full. I was at the register that was doing payments only on layaways. Not even PFs, just payments. I'm waiting on a customer when I happen to glance up and see a woman walk through the entryway and come straight to my register. No number grabbed, nothing. Just walked up straight to me and interrupted me with the customer I was currently assisting. Her, you need to help me immediately. I'm in a rush and can't wait very long. Me, ma'am, while I can appreciate that, everyone here has somewhere else they'd like to be. If you just grab a numbered ticket there. Her, interrupting me, I don't have time for that. You need to just assist me now. At this point, I'd finished up with the customer I was helping and turned to click on the now being served, which was the number I called out, number 75. Next customer, number 75, please. Her, now turning purple, she's so mad. Excuse me. You need to help me now. Do you know who my husband is? Me, unless he's number 75, it really doesn't matter. As if this isn't enough of a mic drop, this is where it gets really good. She's now apoplectic and demands to speak with my manager. Fair enough. Let's go get her from the back, where she's pulling PF layaways and counting cash to be deposited in the main safe because our registers are getting full. Me to supervisor. I'm paraphrasing because it's been so long ago. Mary, this customer walked in, didn't take a number, came right to my register, and demanded I take care of her ahead of a couple dozen customers who patiently waited. I asked her to pull a number, but she refused and then asked me if I knew who her husband was. I should tell you, I told her unless he was number 75, it didn't really matter. Mary comes out to the registers and walks up to the woman and says, "Ma'am, I'm this employee's supervisor, and she tells me you'd like to talk to me?" Entitled customer. Yes, this. My supervisor held her hand up and cut off the woman and says, "Ma'am, I'd love to help you right this second, but as you can see, we're really busy. If you could just pull a number, I'll speak with you when it's your turn." At that, Mary turned around and walked back to the back and pulled PF layaways. I wish I could describe the range of emotions that this customer experienced before she finally turned on her heel and left in a huge huff. Then, to add insult to injury, just as the woman was departing, another customer, I have no idea who, said loud enough for the room to hear, "Get back to us when your husband is more than a lieutenant." Best customer service day ever. ETA forgot to mention her husband, who was indeed a lieutenant, came in the next day and apologized for her behavior. Me, unless he's number 75, it really doesn't matter. Love this. The military needs people like OP. And get back to us when your husband is more than a lieutenant. Savage. I actually saw somebody pull that once at a bar a little way off from the base. The bartender said no and asked who he is. When she answered, the bartender looked confused and said, "I thought his wife was a blonde." The look of confusion turned to rage was amazing. Do you know who my husband is? Yes, I do, but I promised him I wouldn't discuss our relationship in public. I am the wife of a former Marine. I encountered so many of these wives. I remember going to the Marine ball and being on the elevator to the ballroom. This older woman started gushing about my gown. I started to do the same about hers. She had a stunning gold gown. My now husband was shaking. I asked him what was wrong. He said, "Do you even know who you were talking to?" That's the CO and his wife. They were absolutely delightful, kind and engaging. But many of the younger wives wouldn't condescend to even breathe the same air. That's the part one don't miss of that time of our lives. Worse than high school cliques. Attention shoppers. We have a woman who doesn't know who her husband is. If you can identify him, please come to customer service desk. I had someone pull that on me once at work. Note, I worked in a university research administration office. She wanted me to do something that I was not allowed to do. I don't recall exactly what, but it would have violated university and/or federal policy. When I persisted in my refusal to do what she wanted, I got the "Do you know who my husband is?" For probably the only time in my life, I had an immediate comeback. No. Do we need to loop him into this conversation? That shut her up quick. I did, in fact, know who he was. Super nice guy. Just promoted to a senior position in our financial office. I had known him for years. No way he would have backed her position, and she knew it. I never did see what a nice guy like that saw in such a not nice person like her. That was neither my first nor my last run-in with this unpleasant person who apparently hated me. My friend was a major in the Army. When his daughter was in high school, she got into a disagreement with another girl whose father was a colonel. The colonel's daughter said, "Do you know who my father is?" She replied, "Probably one of the many junior officers your mother was screwing when the colonel was deployed." Crazy lady doesn't know what makes a veteran. To set the stage, I retired from the Army Reserve 20+ years ago. I have a farm and tend to wear Do trousers because they are comfortable and durable. Anyway, a couple of years ago this happened. Had to pick up some supplies at a local DIY store for some work I was doing around the farm. Pulled my truck into a reserved veteran parking spot this chain has. As I'm getting out, I have my first entitled crazy lady encounter. CL stops her Lexus and says, "You can't park there." Me, really? Why? CL, that spot is reserved for veterans. Me, and I am a veteran. CL, just because you bought some camouflage pants doesn't make you a veteran. Me, true. My time in the Army makes me a veteran. CL, you're too old to be a veteran. Me, do you even know what veteran means? CL, someone that just left the service.
Me, no.
Anyone that has served. Period. I served for over 20 years and retired. I am a veteran. CL. Me, we're done here, good day. And I go inside shaking my head. I keep expecting to run into this as a middle-aged woman parking in the veteran's spot. Thank you for your service, dude. I am a woman and a veteran. I don't park in the veteran's spot as I'm still pretty spry, but I do get asked for my husband's ID when I ask for the military discount for a car was or such. Gore. He has never served. I am an old gray-haired lady who served 8 years in the Navy, 1980s. I always march when I park in the veteran's spot. It's funny, my vet husband feels guilty about parking in the reserved veteran's spot. He always says there's another vet out there who needs it more than he does. Glad you shut Camo Karen down. My husband and I are both retired Army and I belong to the VFW due to my service in Operation Iraqi Freedom. My first meeting at the VFW. The ladies meet on Tuesdays. My second meeting, you can't go in there as the men have a meeting. I would have loved to chew them out but held back. Now I'm the junior vice commander. My niece is a 20-year veteran, too. Just like you, her service in the military makes her a veteran. Karen demands a tattoo. I was getting the next part of my full sleeve tattoo just a bit ago. I literally just got home from my appointment. This is going to be a relatively small post. My appointment was for 1 to 5 p.m. When I had 1.5 hours left on my appointment, one of the other artists came over our station and said a client was here for my artist. My artist did have another appointment at 5 p.m. At first, he thought his next appointment came early. We were wrong. A wild Karen had appeared. She demanded that my artist tattoo her right now, as a walk-in appointment. Apparently, he had tattooed her in the past and would only accept my artist. My artist told her that he was busy with an appointment and he had a second one immediately after me. She got really mad and called her husband, then thrust the phone in my tattoo artist's face. Husband yelled at my artist for a few minutes, then Karen took the phone back and disappeared back into the wild. Wow. To demand a tattoo from an artist I'd just had my husband yell at over the phone? What kind of tattoo did she think she'd get out of this artist? I don't personally work well under threats or duress myself. She is the reason why so many people are walking around with shithead tattooed in Chinese characters on their arms instead of tiger, like they demanded. To yell at someone who is going to stab you with needles is as stupid as yelling at someone who handles your food. Not quite this bad, but I had a male walk up to me at work and compliment me on my most visible tattoo. He noticed a few of my others and we chatted for a bit before he stated he wanted tattoos and was asking me when he could get them. I pointed out he might need to wait a bit, but he just kept arguing. I eventually had to deflect by sending him off to class, but he was pretty demanding for a 4-year-old. I don't think I would have even spoken to her husband on the phone. People are just so crazy these days. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.